So this is me in 2019. PT, Pure Gym, 2 miles down the road in fact, in Salford. I was on a mission to gain loads of clients, to earn loads of money, okay? As we all do at times. The way I went about doing this, squat challenge, went around the gym for about 2 weeks, get as many people involved as possible. The prizes, first place, 3 PT training sessions, second and third was 2 sessions, fourth and fifth was a leg day program, and snacker jacks for all the participants to get people in, okay? Nice. Lead magnet within a lead magnet. Inception. This went down really well, other than it being very embarrassing. But the problem I had was getting participants to take participation. Got a few people in, got a few people in first, second, third places, ultimately didn't turn into clients. So, not so much a failure, but didn't work out how I wanted it to be. What I then decided to do, in January 2020, I was talking to the manager in the gym at the time. He said, have you considered doing a free ebook to get to people, to get clients from that way? I thought, great idea. I needed volume of people to come through. That was an issue I was facing with the squat challenge. I thought, right, online, unlimited people to get in front of. So this would be major, major volume. I spent about 6 weeks creating this ebook, Fat Loss 101. Essentially, I put this online, and the rules of engagement were, in order to get this ebook, I needed you to share it on your story, and I needed you to send it, and save it as well, and give me your email address. As you can see, not bad at all. 24 saves, 25 comments, 23 likes. This is when I had 500 followers on Instagram. So not a great deal. This is when my Instagram first started, essentially in the first year of it. From that ebook alone, I'd spent 2 weeks promoting it. And when I actually launched it, the reach went into the thousands. Keep in mind, I had 500. I got 100 story shares. 100. And I got 70 plus emails. Major, right? From one ebook. Really good. So, you're probably thinking, shit, you must have got a lot of clients from this, okay? A wealth of leads. A wealth. And do you know what I got from it? Precisely fuck all. How many clients did I gain? Precisely fuck all. And just like my expectations of growing a beard when I was younger, as you can see, it was way off. The reality was, I'd put this lead magnet out with the expectation that people were going to be coming flocking to me. Do you know what I mean? Like magic. I thought, right, this ebook's going to blow people away. They're going to be knocking on the door, handing cash. I'm going to have to beat them away with a stick. But in reality, this is an actual picture of me from last week. The reality is it don't work like that. Okay? What I've learned from this process and many other lead magnets I've done within my own business is there is a process that needs to take place. Who here has ever said one of these phrases to yourself at least once before? I wish I had a system to follow for getting leads. There's so much to do, I'm not sure what to focus on when it comes to leads. I want it to be sustainable and consistent. I'm tired of hoping and not being sure when the next lead is coming in, and I'm lacking consistency because I don't really know what I'm doing. Show of hands, who said this before? Amazing. I know that a few of you have said this because these are direct quotes from a few of you, Jake being one, Amy from McCall the other day. Market research. So, by the end of this talk, I want you to have at least, at the minimum, 1 lead magnet. And I want you to have an understanding of how to turn a stranger into a paying client with that lead magnet. Okay? If it's one thing that you already know about me at this point, is that I'd love to help you feel empowered within your own business, okay? To understand what you're doing. One of my biggest gripes in this industry, I won't name any names, but is people tend to give coaches things to do without explaining what and why and how you're doing it, okay? Which then leaves you in the dark when things don't work, when things need to change, then being required to rely on said person, very much like Weight Watchers. But first, let's make some distinctions. What is a lead and what is a lead magnet? All a lead is someone that says, hey, I'm potentially interested in working with you. Okay? That could be a like, a comment, watch of the stories, anything as small as that, okay? Some calls I've had recently, I've asked some of you to define what a lead is in your mind. And I want to reassure you that a lead is a few steps further back than where you feel it is, because the most common reply I get is that, oh, a lead is someone that I'm on a call with, or someone that's almost guaranteed to sign up, okay? Which leads expectations of leads to be up here. Every single person in this room will probably have far more leads than you think you've got based upon that expectation. What is a lead magnet? A free resource that you give out to people to raise their hand in the air and say, I might be interested in working with you. That's it, okay? Easy peasy. So, we're gonna build you a lead magnet in 3 steps. Dead easy, okay? Quick fire round. Step number 1, we're gonna solve a problem and or identify a problem. This is gonna be on your worksheets on one of the pages, just after the picture of myself on there. And essentially, all we're going to do now for the next 60 seconds is identify a problem and or solve a problem in 2 categories. 1, for your clients in this present moment, this month of the year. What is a lead magnet that you could do seasonally right now that is going to solve or identify a problem? What do your clients currently struggle with at this time of year? Is it coming out of January blues and getting back that motivation? What is that thing? And then the second thing is going to be an evergreen lead magnet. What is something your clients struggle with year round? Because then you'll have 2 types of lead magnets straight off the bat. One is going to be you can release at any point in the year, and one is going to be every single February or at the end of January you can then release. So we'll quickly do this for 30 to 60 seconds. Just to give you some prompts, here's an identification lead magnet. The reason you aren't losing weight, or the real reason you aren't losing weight, okay? Brings in curiosity, lets people know there's something maybe that they've not seen, identifying a problem. This could be stress management when it comes to losing weight. It could be sleep impacting losing weight. And then to solve a problem, how to lose your first 5 kilos, okay? Dead easy. Task is done. Step number 2 is going to be the delivery of that lead magnet. How are we going to present it to people? What format does it need to be in? I'm going to leave this on the screen. No doubt many of you may want to take a picture of this because this is just good examples for you. But essentially, this is going to be many, many ways you can now deliver it to people across your social media platform or however you're now delivering it to those people. Something to note here, I was speaking to Amy Tyler the other week, and she was posting, certain lead magnets that weren't gelling with her audience, not getting much in return. And we had a bit of a dive into why that might be. Amy actually works with, business women, career-driven women that are quite analytical, that are quite data and metric focused. So we said, you're not actually doing anything wrong. It's just the type of magnet you're doing. So we actually came to the conclusion that, okay, this type of person would actually benefit from an audit. Where are they based upon the principles and the values that you're going to help them with in your business? So deciding what best suits your audience so then they can be engaged in it and actually want to read or use that thing. And then number 3, name of the magnet. 80% of readers never make it past the headline. What your headline does for people, whether it's on a newspaper, whether it's on a leaflet, a flyer, whether it's on an Instagram post, your heading is going to tell them whether they want to read on or not. You could have the most valuable, best bit of content within that lead magnet, but if your heading doesn't match up and align with what they need and want from it, they're not going to read it, so it's pointless. So we want to make sure that the heading is exactly where it needs to be. And I actually did a real-life experiment on you all. You're all my guinea pigs for this slide, okay? I asked you all on Instagram, on Close Friends, which one would you rather this presentation be called? And I got the votes. And the reason I was getting the votes is because I wanted to test what would work best for you guys and see what would resonate with you more. I actually got 16 and 16, which really didn't help. Led me into the situation I was prior, so it was pointless me asking. I then prompted you to vote again. We then got 22 and 22 for it. 22 and 22. And then asked again, and then someone held all the power with the final one. We got 23 and 22. So whoever got that vote, the whole reason this presentation is called this is because of you. So we're going to have a task for 5 minutes. We're going to put some tunes on, and essentially what we're going to do is make a headline to sell to the people on your table. You're going to think of a headline, and we're going to even the playing field, all right? It's going to be for your landscaping business, selling lawn care, okay? The only person in this room that does this is my little brother in the background there, so he may have the only advantage. But other than that, you're going to create curiosity with this, okay? Try and sell to other people in the group lawn services, okay? Make it entertaining, make it curious. This is going to get you to think in a different industry now. It's going to be a little bit entertaining as well. And it's also going to see how the other people on your table are going to be thinking and solving this problem, okay? So 3 to 5 minutes, 2 minutes, writing down your ideas, and then just presenting what that headline is to other people. And you're going to have a vote on your table as to who you think has got the best headline. Okay, guys. Guys. We'll do 2 shares. Hands up who thinks they've got the funniest one.
Valentine's Day is coming. Is it time to get your bush in order? Yes.
Hey. Right, second. Anyone think they've got one better than that? Show of hands. Okay, brilliant. Amazing. Okay, so how to turn a stranger into a paying client. What we're going to do now is run you through a 5-step process, which is essentially going to show you how to turn a stranger into a paying client, okay? It's going to be about understanding and engaging your target market consistently, adjusting your content to launch or promote, deliver the lead magnet of value, collect information, and follow up with people, okay? First things first, I heard this ages ago and I think it's absolutely fantastic. You will get these slides, you'll get this information. Do not write down what I talk about on these slides. Write down what you think about when I'm talking, okay? Whatever ideas that come into your mind, they will be there for a split second. Here's your opportunity to write that down and make sure you do not forget that. The amount of times I've been to things like this and I've wrote down what's exactly on the board and I've gone, what's the fucking point of that? I had such good ideas, and I had no idea what I was thinking about at that moment in time, okay? So make sure you write down what you think, not what I say, because you're going to get these slides. And essentially, this is going to be an overview, a broad overview in a snapshot, easily digestible for you to get an approach of what's going to happen moving forward. And then on our calls together, we'll go into the finer detail for you on a personal level with your business to then expand this for you, okay? This is just going to be an overview of it. So step 1. This is when I mentioned before, there is a process that goes on. Who here, by show of hands, has put a lead magnet out on a Monday, and that was it, and got nothing really in return? Anyone done that before? A few hands gone up? Amazing. That's because X, Y, Z, so on and so forth, wasn't in place, okay? There is a process, there is a conveyor belt for this to maximally work. Please don't feel you have to do this. This is just, again, broad overview that as and when you feel ready, we're here to then support you with it, but give you an idea. So first and foremost, step 1, make your market before you make your sale by creating conditions so that people want to take action. Again, if we just post a lead magnet out on a Monday, nothing's been preempted for that to be actually actioned upon. So part of this now is understanding and engaging your target market on a consistent basis. But how does this apply to you? Well, first and foremost, you need to know your audience. The most important part of that. That is the foundation of your business and your marketing. Without that, there is nothing, because everything stems from that. So, who are you talking to? Who's the lead magnet for? In order to get a higher quality of lead in, we need to be as specific as we possibly can. Okay? Helping people lose body fat, nothing wrong with that. Not very specific. Helping mums with 4 kids that have 2 jobs lose 15 kilos of body fat, really specific, okay? That's when you get a higher quality of person coming in for that lead, and then hopefully client as well. Next part, knowing what are their problems. Again, you need to be specific with this. And then what is their vision of success? How well do you know these people? When it comes to your marketing, make sure that you are spending more time on understanding them than you do on your copy and what you're doing on social media. Because all of that don't count for anything if we don't know these 3 basic things. Number 2, let your audience know you. Really important factor. They need to know you, they need to like you, they need to trust you. Remember, Gen Pop people are not used to this world. For coaching for us, we will invest in things for our business. We'll invest in ourselves because that's the mindset we've got. Gen Pop people aren't like that, okay? So making sure that they know you, like you, and trust you when they hand over their hard-earned cash with a decision that they're maybe not comfortable with doing, i.e. spending money on a coach, which is very alien to a lot of people. And then finally, as well with this, philosophy over features. Mentioning your values, your beliefs, your story, what you stand for, what you stand against, and your mission. Really important factor for this. This is how you build that trust, that rapport, that relatability with people. Number 3, the 7-11-4 rule. Has anyone heard of this before? Great, I'm going to tell you now. So, Google did a bit of research, and they found out there's this 7-11-4 rule. And what it means is for someone to really buy in and trust you and buy into whatever it is you're selling, product, services, they need to consume 7 hours of your content, i.e. binge on you. Therefore, this is where the consistency of your content comes in, as much as you can possibly do. They found out that people like to have 11 touch points, whether that's now in the DMs, whether that's now them going on your profile. And they also found out that it's based on 4 locations, whether that's now going to be on a podcast on Spotify, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever they see you. Again, it's that familiarity. So this is what Google came up with. I appreciate these are quite high numbers, but as close to this as you can get is really going to benefit you. And then finally, be consistent. And I put 6 weeks in an asterisk there. Mr. Ben Leader told me the other week about this. And apparently when you now, psychologically speaking, when you now shift your messaging and shift your target market and shift what you're putting out onto social media and on your platforms, there is a 6-week transition phase where the pendulum swings, and that's where people sort of catch on to what you're now talking about. So if you've ever changed target market, there's about a 6-week period for that to change. But how this may apply to you is that when you come to being consistent, make sure you are consistent for 6 weeks with that basis to build as many eyes and engagement on your page as possible so that when we have that lead magnet, it lands a lot harder rather than on a Monday I posted a lead magnet and I've got absolutely nothing in return. Step number 2, adjust content to promote your lead magnet. This can be anywhere from 7 to 10 days. The Avengers, the high performance Avengers. Thinking about it, I should have screenshotted our faces on here. It's Joe, Captain America. This is the most successful financial film ever to be made, okay? They did, for this film, they did a 5-month launch promotion for this. Now, I'm not expecting you to do a 5-month one for a lead magnet. That would be insane. You can if you want. In December 2018, they did the title and trailer. February 2019, they did a teaser trailer at the Super Bowl. Again, get as many eyes on as possible before they actually launched the thing. March 2019, did a second trailer. 19, a teaser. April, they did a special teaser trailer. And then April, right down there, they did the release date. It took them 5 months drip feeding this information to people, okay? Really building that anticipation, really building that buy-in. That's what this phase is for now, adjusting your content to promote this lead magnet. Again, how does this apply to you? So, the key ingredients. I have an example after this, but I don't want to give you an example. I want to teach you the principles so you can make your own mind up about doing this, okay? So you can then go and do it however you please. Essentially, you want to have buy-in, you want to have anticipation, you want to have a level of empathy to show understanding and relatability with people, you want to have objection handling, and you want to have authority. What this is now, the launch and the promotion of a lead magnet, it's going to be like a mini marketing campaign. It's just that in a sense, okay? Everything you do on social media every single week, objection handling, empathy, authority, it's that just on a condensed basis. That's all you're doing, okay? So it's nothing that you haven't done before. So an example of this, okay, in 4 points. A basic example. Firstly, ask your audience, would you prefer to solve problem X or Y? This gets buy-in from them, builds anticipation. Then potentially a day later, 2 days later, Based on your feedback, I'll be releasing a solution to problem X on date, so on and so forth. Again, building that anticipation. Point 3, then you need to focus your content specifically around problem X and the solution that you're going to provide. Base it through stories, through objection handlings, so on and so forth. And then point 4, hammer social proof, recommendations, feedback, all based around problem X and the Y success for them. Really easy, guys, okay? Then we have step 3. This is going to be releasing lead magnet and delivering it of value. This clicker's great, mate. Ooh. Right. Value is dependent on the utility it provides to the consumer. Therefore, it has to be useful and relevant. Value is dependent on the utility it provides to the consumer. Making sure that your lead magnet is of value, and it's not just some crap that's going out there. I think I've read it in Alex Hormozi's book where he said that when it comes to lead magnets, you want to be like a drug dealer. You don't want to give out crap drugs to people because they'll never come back to you. You want to make sure that first drug's going to be fantastic. You'll be the first person that comes to mind again. Same applies for this. Make sure it's useful, make sure it's relevant. Okay? If you are not doing this, I'm just throwing crap out, all you're doing is showing people how shit you are, okay? We're not selling shit in a can here. Making sure it's of high value, of high utility, and of high relevance for them. Nobody's not enough, you must take action. By show of hands, who here has a little bit of fear inside of them that stops them from giving away value and sharing too much? Has anyone experienced that before when it comes to lead magnets or anything on social media? Amazing, few of you. Give away as much as you can. You want to show you're high value to people, you can solve problems. That's why your business exists. Businesses only exist for that reason. Toilet paper solves the problem of having shit on your hand, okay? Every single business only exists to solve problems. Information is free. Implementation is paid for. That's what you sell. You are not selling information, okay? So give as much value as way as possible, because we know for a fact that if it was the information that was the missing piece for people, they could go on Google and get millions of workouts and millions of nutrition programs. That's not the missing piece for them. It's you, your support, your service, the accountability, and the implementation that you help them with. So keep that in mind when you're doing your lead magnets. At the end of a lead magnet, whether it's a webinar, whether it's an ebook, whether it's a PDF, whatever that actually is, making sure there's a call to action. I did this quiz the other day just to give you an example, to find out which Monsters, Inc. character I was. I was Sully, if that surprises anyone. And essentially, right at the end of the quiz, it gave me this call to action here. It was a link which I could click on to stream on Disney. Very clear what it wanted me to do. Stream on Disney here. Click on this. So making sure you've got a crystal clear lead magnet telling people exactly what you want them to do and exactly where you want them to do it as well. We need to have some urgency involved at the end as well. Urgency is going to be based upon time constraints. 24 hours for this offer. The reason I put this picture on here, this is Simba mattresses. I actually stayed, one of the first times I stayed at Joe's house, Joe and Leanne's house, I stayed in the spare bedroom and they had a Simba mattress. Best night's sleep I've ever had. I was like, mate, what mattress is that? I'm going to buy one. He said, it's a Simba. So I went on, and I think it was like near Black Friday or something, and they said 25% off for the next like 8 hours. I was like, shit, I've got to get one. Like now, this is my moment. Bought one, and then about 3 weeks later, I went on just to have a look at, just to see if there's any other like toppers or anything like that. Turns out this 25% off is on year round. All right, I got suckered into it by urgency. Real life example. So make sure there is potentially a time constraint on there. 24 hours and this offer ends. 1 week and this offer ends. The higher it is within reason, the better result you'll get from that. And then finally, scarcity. This is now, again, real life example from me, making sure that there are limited availability within it. This is a physio that I've actually booked in with. I did this screenshot last week. This is his next available appointment, the 14th of June. okay? I booked in for it. That's my appointment there. And essentially, I was like umming and ahhing about it as I was logging on. I was like, yeah, I'll sort of book in. I'll just have a bit of a browse. I saw this. I was like, shit, I need to go now because I'm injured and I'm not waiting past that. I did it based on scarcity. He's a good physio, so it's fine. I put the word authentic here. Authentic. I'm expecting every person to put their hand up in this room, okay? Who here has put a post in a story saying, I'm looking for 5 so-and-so person? Every hand's going up. Every hand's going up. Yeah, okay, perfect. Authentic scarcity is not just saying, oh, arbitrary numbers, oh, willy-nilly. I've got 5 spaces, all right? Every one of you's got 5 spaces, apparently. Authentic scarcity is telling them and being honest that, listen, the capacity of my business right now, I can only actually take 3 people in this month because that's how long it takes me to onboard, get everyone and give that quality of service I need. So I've got 3 spaces available. Who needs to buy in for this? Okay? Showing that honesty is going to have more buy-in from people than just a random number that's 5 people, okay? So really important. Authentic scarcity, I like to call that. Step 4, collect the lead information. I did a really good job of this, but it's step 5 I slipped up on. There's 2 levels to this. Level 1, manual delivery and collection. Dead easy, everyone can here do it. Put something on your stories, I've got this lead magnet. People reach out, click the sticker, send a like, whatever it is. Send it out manually, collect their information manually. Dead easy. Level 2, you can build an opt-in page or a landing page through Linktree on your bio, whatever there's, a little bit more techy. It's up to you if you want to do that, but again, that's going to be automating the process a little bit more for you. And then it comes into storing the lead information. How are we now going to actually put this into one place so we can then make sure we've got the information stored in a safe place? Option 1, we've got the success system. Every single person on here should have a success system. If you don't, let us know. We'll shoot you one over. But essentially on here, there is a lead tracking system. It gives you columns as to putting the names in, when to follow up, a bunch of information. Highly recommend using that. If not, we work with Kev now, which is our software guy. We've got a new HPC CRM software coming out, so keep your eyes peeled on that. And building anticipation. And then step 5. This is where I really ballsed up. Okay, really important step. Question. Is the problem a lack of leads or a lack of follow-ups? That's the question. Philosophy, business philosophy. Mine was the follow-up process. I had 70 plus leads. Do you know what I mean? I could have made 5 clients out of that. I had a call with, I've had a few calls like this, but I had a call coach in this room the other week, and he's panicking. He was like, I've not got many leads coming in. I said, all right, well, how many leads have you got previously? He's like, I've got like an email list of 500 people, but I'm not getting any new leads in. I said, all right, what are you doing with the 500? Have you like exhausted that list? He's like, no, they're just like sat there. So you've got 500 leads and you're complaining about not getting more, but you're not doing anything with those 500 leads. Like, all right, let's focus on that first rather than now trying to plow more people through the door because you've got a wealth of people in. So ask yourself, do you have a lack of leads problem or do you have a lack of follow-up problem? I guarantee there's a large percentage of you in this room that has at least 100 people on a list. So just consider that. What I found out with this particular coach, I'll assume it's the same for a few of you in here, is that he had the list, and the reason he wasn't following up is because he didn't want to seem salesy or icky or didn't think they were interested. And then I found this image that came to mind. People that put their hands up that say, I'm interested in working with you, I would love a Fat Loss 101 ebook about how to lose 5 kilos of body fat. This is what they're doing. They're in a hole going, help me, I need your help. And this coach is going, nah, I'm too scared to be doing that. Too salesy. This person's literally asking for help. If you see a taxi, Joe gave me this one, if you see a taxi going down the road and it's got a light on, that tells you that it's ready to be picked up, okay? You need to make sure you're putting your hand in the air so that then connection needs to be made. And there's a phrase in sales which is that the fortune's in the follow-up. This rings so true with the story I said at the beginning. The fortunes really were in my follow-up. I could have had a handful of clients from those 70 plus emails. Again, I did absolutely fuck all with it. So, follow-ups. Here's a big question we get, okay? How do we follow up? Again, broad basis, there are two ways to follow up. Nurture sequences, sales sequences. I'm going to give you some examples here just so you know what that might look like for you and when to do that. Right, okay, so when we want to nurture people, when we want to have lead magnet, we get their information, we then follow up to them. We follow up with nurturing, building relationship, building rapport. When will you do that? That's when you've got a higher price point program and potentially a cold lead, okay? This person needs more buy-in because there's more investment from them. This person needs more buy-in because they don't maybe really know you that well. We need to build that connection first and foremost. That's when a nurture comes in. When you want to do sales, it's when it's a warm lead. The person knows you, you have the rapport with them, and or a lower price point, okay? Less need for investment from them. So, a sales example. This is a very, very, very condensed example I'm going to give you, okay, of what a sales process will look like on a follow-up email sequence or so on and so forth. Email 1, you'll send the lead magnet. They've said I'm interested, you send that out to them. Email 2, a day later, this is days, day later, mention the bigger problem to them, mention the solution. You want to now tie their problem that they've got with how you can solve it. Email 3, that's 2 to 3 days later, address uncertainties, okay? Objection handlings, so on and so forth from that regard. Email 4, FAQs, objections again. Again, this is going to address uncertainties and make sure that they know what they're buying into. This is 4 to 5 days later. And then number 5, ask for the call. This is 5 to 7. Again, this is super condensed. This can be done depending on how warm they are or how low the price point actually is. And a bonus step, book a call. So that is how we get leads, okay? But I wanted to give you something on the other end of the spectrum. Referrals. Referrals are arguably far easier to get if you're doing a good job. But in sales, a referral is the key to the door of resistance. If you have a friend or a family member come to your house tomorrow and you go, oh, how was your Friday? They go, whoa, listen. They go, Ben, I went to this restaurant last night. It was the best restaurant I have ever been to in my entire life. You've got to go. You have to go. Yeah? Chances are you're probably going to go to that restaurant, okay? More than likely. It's going to go in your list on your notes. So making sure that referrals are there, because with the referrals comes a level of associated trust. There's probably a handful of you in this room that have never seen me before, never heard of my name, but there'll be a tiny bit of you that trust me in the information I'm putting on here because I'm associated with Joe. Okay? Trust by association. This is the same thing here. If you can get your clients to refer to you, you have already built like phantom trust with this person, more likely to buy in. And this is my client, George. The reason I put George on here, you're very happy. The reason I put George on here is because I asked George for a referral once. I'm going to show you how I did that. But I asked George for a referral once. He referred 10 people to me, 7 of them signed up. 7. I sent one message and I got 7 clients from this man right here. Legend. Okay? So, George, how do we do it? I sent George a bit of a spiel. As always, you're doing great, which he was. Really bigged him up. Authentically, I didn't blow smoke up his ass. He was doing fantastic work. Then I led into, you wouldn't happen to know just one person, someone who, just like you, would benefit from X success. The reason I sent this message, and this is like a well-known phrase actually. First part of it is, you wouldn't happen to know. It's seen as like an easy challenge. Like, yeah, maybe I would happen to know. Second part, just one person. Reasonable. Do you know one person? That's pretty reasonable, right? And then number 3, someone who just like you, flattering them. Okay? This isn't sleazy because George was an incredible client and I did want more people like him. So use this with care. But essentially, that's the breakdown of it. Oh, sorry. There you go. Your big head's in the way. Right. So, again, wouldn't happen to know. Challenge. Number 2, reasonable. And number 3, flattery. Pictures of this, anyone? 1, 2, are we in? Amazing. If anyone wants these slides, I'll send them to you as well. Okay, that's the process. Okay, guys, so just a reminder, 5 steps. Understand and engage your target market consistently. Knowing them, make sure they know you. This is going to build as many eyes as possible so that when you do launch, we've got as many people there. Number 2, adjust the content to promotion and launch it. Again, think of the Avengers. Think of building that anticipation, that buy-in. Number 3, deliver it of value. Collect the lead information. And my God, this is the most important thing I'm telling myself. Follow up with those messages, okay? Ask yourself, do you have a lead problem or a follow-up problem? Team, I've been Troy Nixon, and this is how to turn a stranger into a paying client.